Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Cinema Gems. Tonight, guys, we're going to take a look at a 1994 revenge action film based on a comic book by James O'Barr. We're talking about The Crow.
Yeah, this is a weird film because it's actually kind of depressing, actually, when you think about it, this film.
It definitely has a very edgy, gothic vibe throughout the whole story.
Which was very popular at the time, I remember also.
Yeah.
And actually, the guy who made this comic book as a way of coping when his girlfriend actually died.
By having him do shooting dual wielding in slow motion?
Sort of, but he also wanted to get the sort of the tortured vibe that he felt inside.
And he kind of did this as a disturbing form for release. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much, yeah. Because at the time he said he was almost going insane, almost with his grief and all that.
So what is The Crow about?
The Crow is about a young rock star named Eric Draven, who he and his girlfriend were attacked by a violent gang, who gang raped his girlfriend. And then they killed Eric, but then he comes back alive.
As sort of a vengeful spirit, right?
Yes.
And weird, because that's actually a lot of changes from the book, because in the book, Eric's not a rock star, he's a mechanic, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he's a mechanic that was studying poetry at his university, I think.
I guess that wasn't edgy enough for the viewers at the time.
Well, I don't know, because the director actually was friends with the writer, actually, when they were making this, and he wanted to be as faithful as possible, but he also wanted to make sure that it was also mainstream enough.
A little more up to the times.
Pretty much.
Let's talk about Brandon Lee's character.
Oh.
Yes, he was a tragic character.
Too tragic, and tragic in both as a character and in real life, because this is the film where he died in.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, man. Apparently, there's actually footage of that still out there. And apparently the guy who was in the scene that actually accidentally shot Brandon has refused to ever watch the scene or the movie because it brings up a lot of emotional stress in him even still today. Yeah. Something you don't want to live with, man.
Yeah, that really does suck. Yeah, like
this... They're probably going to hate me for saying this, but I didn't really like his performance.
What?
He felt like a very stereotypical emo character that I've just seen too much of and I've just gotten sick of. Like, oh, my girlfriend's dead. Yeah, oh, I only live for revenge. Oh, is there any other emo cliches you'd like to... I more so blame his writing than his performance. I think he did the best with the material he had, but the material he had, I have a huge problem with. As someone who suffers from depression, I hate just basic emo ways of handling depression. And I'm sorry, nothing the character said really stood out to me or worked with me on an emotional level. And you know, I've noticed that this movie has a lot of slow motion scenes, a lot of imagery of birds, a lot of dual wielding, which makes me wonder, did John Woo secretly direct this movie?
Maybe. But you might say that, but I actually kind of like the sort of physicality he brings into the character. This is a character that's pure, unadulterated rage, pretty much.
With drug absorption powers.
Yeah.
Let me just suck the heroin dry out of you. Oh, I'll just do it later. Wait, what? No, I'm not doing heroin. You are.
There's that, but he also... It seems like he's also a character that wants his attackers to feel the pain that he and his girlfriend suffered.
So pretty much like every revenge movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, their whole revenge genre where a guy's loved one gets killed and now he's out for revenge sort of thing. You got like excellent ones, you got like shitty ones. Excellent ones I could think of right now or stuff like
The sequels. I'm sorry.
Like Mandy.
Yeah. And Mandy.
There are a few other ones, yeah, but
yeah,
it could have been weirder because they almost want to put some other things from the book, like the skeleton cowboy was supposed to be in the movie, I heard.
Hell, that probably would have made for a more compelling movie than the black-haired man who looked like he came straight off of Metal Death Head album.
Actually,
Top Dollar?
Top dollar.
Actually, if you see the makeup for the skeleton cowboy, it looks really bad, so I'm kind of glad they didn't put him in.
It's like the ditch design for the Predator, almost.
Kind of, but that's another change from the book, because Top Dollar in the book isn't a main villain, actually.
He's just a side villain, right?
Yeah, if anything, he's just a heroin distributor, pretty much. That's all he does in the book. But in this one, they upgraded him to the lead villain, and the actor who plays him, I actually kind of like. I've seen him a few things, and he's always this kind of intense, snarling kind of person a lot.
Again, going with the emo vibe.
But besides that, what else did you have to think about this film exactly when you were watching it?
I thought it was gritty and very stylized.
I mean, they didn't give a name to the town, the city. Also, I realized almost.
Yes, but we know that it's Detroit.
Well, obviously it's Detroit. I mean, come on.
I think, given the depressing tone of the movie, having these super stylish slow motion dual wielding action scenes just didn't really fit with the tone of the movie. It was
There's
almost kind
also-
of goofy.
There's also that gang.
Yeah, exactly.
Fire it up! Fire it up!
You know, it's like trying to etch in it's like trying to etch in a bunch of shootout scenes into the original Blade Runner. Like it just doesn't fit, and it feels like it's etched in at just the most awkward moments. And we're gonna etch in this little blonde girl that does nothing for the movie except poke the characters and tell them to continue to plot, basically.
Actually, in the book, she had even less to do, apparently.
That's...
In fact, she's only in one scene.
Which makes me wonder why bring her back for the movie.
Tony Todd is also in this too.
Yeah, the Candyman's in this film, man, with the hat and the glasses.
Could almost be Sweet Tooth.
Kind of. And that's not the only charismatic actor in there. There's also Winston from Ghostbusters in this movie, also.
Yes! And that guy from the Warriors.
Oh, yeah, it's
Of
him.
course somebody from the Warriors is
He
going to
always
show
plays.
up.
He always plays sort of these gang leaders all the time. It's kind of his bread and butter, I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they're going to bring somebody from the Warriors. That's like part of the vibe I feel like this movie was trying to portray.
Mm.
What do you guys think of this movie overall, though?
I really liked it, despite its flaws. It's, for what it was, I think it is good.
I mean, sometimes the music was a bit
It feels like it's
kind of being too edgy almost.
too edgy, like I enjoy the bands and the music they have in there, but I feel like the movie's just to showcase the bands. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay, that's fair.
Thomas?
Let's see. I didn't think I'd like the film at first when I first saw it, but I'll admit it's actually kind of grown on me a lot. Not only for the action scenes, which I actually really like, and the entertaining way that Draven is portrayed in this film, because in all honesty, Brandon Lee is this character pretty much. And it makes me really sad about what happened to him, and I really do feel like this film is basically kind of like a big send-off to Brandon, pretty much. This is them saying, goodbye, Brandon, we'll miss you, pretty much. And with the tragedy of the film like that, it feels kind of like a sweet send-away present, which is something that the sequels could never capture. That's another thing Harvey Weinstein has ruined, I'm afraid. So I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10.
To be honest, I was pretty disappointed with this movie overall. A lot of people hyped it up as one of the greatest revenge stories ever, but despite its interesting, fascinating, dark atmosphere and its great use of its setting, it does nothing with that setting in any interesting ways. The characters feel very throwaway, there's a lot of cliches thrown in there, and the action scenes, I'm sorry, I don't think they fit the tone of the rest of the movie whatsoever, and always took me out of the experience, so I'm gonna have to give this one a 6 out of 10.
Alright, that's fair. Okay, that's it, I guess, right?
Yes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to get the notifications. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we're also on Patreon, where you can donate money if you want to see exclusive content and you want to make suggestions for future reviews.
We're always there to read them, guys.
Yes. I hope to see you guys next time.
See you later.
Adios, guys.
Areas